Hey, this is Amanda from The Fundamental Home, and today I am taking part in a collab called How Do You Beat the Budget Burnout? And it was started by Budget Girl, but lots of great folks that you know are taking part. Folks like His and Her Money, you know I'm a huge fan of them. Lydia Sen, oh my soul, Mike and Lauren. There's a number of folks. I couldn't name them all if I tried. So make sure you check in the description box down below and you will find all of their names and links to all of their videos so that you can go check them out and learn how to beat budget burnout. And I decided to do a video for the Open Collab, and my video is about how to beat budget burnout when you're talking about your grocery budget. As you all know, I have a really snug grocery budget. Of course, I feed my family a $5 on $100 a month. I'll link to that video up here if you haven't seen it before. I also thought while I was talking about it, I would actually show you my cabinets, because I've had a couple videos up where I show you my grocery shopping process. One was last summer and one was this winter after a snowstorm, and I thought it would be fun to film the snowstorm one just so you could see what it looks like when we let it get down to absolutely nothing. Well, just because I only have those two videos up, folks seem to think that I always have my cabinets down to nothing, and that's not always the case. I actually went shopping this last week or so, and when I went, I couldn't buy anything for my freezer because my freezer was packed full. Because the previous time I'd gone shopping, I found tons of deals on meat. So I was going to show you. It's a little dark. I'll take you over here. And you can see my freezer is packed full. And it actually was not this neat. I actually kind of neatened it up for you. But there's two rows back there, all the way filled pretty much to the top. And in addition to this, I have another, I'm going to show you my fridge in a second. I mean, these are all just packs of steaks, roasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Back here I have some more chicken thighs. Whew, it's gonna fall. That's what happens when I mess with it. And then back there I have some sausage. Right here I have a full turkey breast. This is a whole chicken that we actually help butcher. This is some fish. Up here we have some fish and some bacon, and on the door I have, because I ran out of room, ground beef. But in addition to that, which I just pulled out to thaw, down here I have another whole chicken that I'm going to make bone broth out of, and I have right here some turkey legs that I'm going to make turkey soup out of. And of course, yeah, I didn't clean that out. That's how junky my fridge looks. But you know, I just wanted to show you, just because you're on a tight budget doesn't mean that your cabinets are empty all the time. You know, when you find good deals, when it's the right time of year, it is really easy to stock up and make sure you have lots of food in your fridge and your cabinets. So, and of course, since I wasn't buying anything for the freezer this past time, I spent a lot of my budget on fresh produce. So if you are on the Frugal Family Food group, which if you don't know, we have a group called Frugal Family Food, I have to link that in the description box, so you'll find it there. And if you want to join, we have lots of great folks there sharing their recipes, sharing pictures of things they're making for dinner, sharing their budgeting techniques. Somebody mentioned couponing this last week. Loads of great information there, so if you're not a member of that group, make sure you join it. That being said, a lot of times I will share things that I'm making on that group, and I feel kind of bad because in the last week or so I pretty much have just been sharing like salads and tacos and things like that, because we've just had so much produce that we're trying to get rid of it, and it's just kind of the same things over and over again. So anyway, needless to say, that's kind of what happens when you hit a wall and you hit kind of a grocery budget burnout thing. What usually happens is you kind of start having the same thing over and over again. And for me, that's when I hit a wall where I am dealing with some grocery budget burnout, okay? So I have some things that I do to try to avoid that grocery budget burnout. And the first thing that I do is make sure that I'm sticking to my plan. Okay? What happens is sometimes I get a little lazy and I don't want to sit down and write out my full plan. I think I've got it in my head. And then you know what? I kind of wake up one day and then I forgot what I was supposed to make. And then I get busy and I don't take out anything to thaw. So I have just a handful of quick meals, and we kind of end up having that, and then the next day the same thing happens again, and we have the same thing again. And the quick meals aren't the best meals, right? I end up in a world of trouble when I don't actually make a meal plan, okay? But if I follow my meal plan, if I actually make a plan and I follow it, what happens is, number one, we stay on budget. Number two, I don't have to worry about what I'm making because that's stressful and nobody wants to deal with that. And also, we don't end up having the same thing over and over again, which makes everybody unhappy. So the first thing I do is make sure that I'm sticking to my plan, because if I'm not, then that is totally gonna lead to grocery budget burnout, right? So the next thing that we try to do is be thankful. Okay? Sometimes you just gotta have the same thing over and over again. And so we kind of try to make it into a game, and that's kind of another tip, have fun. But we try to make it into a game and be thankful for the things that we can be thankful for. So I mentioned we had tacos a couple times last week, and at first everybody was super excited because we really haven't had tacos too often. Because, you know, you want the fresh produce, and that's not always available as inexpensively, nor do we always have the budget to have so much in abundance, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is that we try to remember, hey, we don't get tacos all the time. So this is something that we're gonna appreciate while we're here. Another thing that I like to have is corn. When corn comes in season, we have a lot of corn. And sometimes people in my family complain about it, but I really enjoy it, and I try to remind myself corn time only comes once a year. I look forward to corn time. It's really fun, and I think that one of the benefits of eating on a tight budget is that when you're often getting that fresh produce, you're getting it seasonally, because seasonally is when it's least expensive. And then I feel good that I'm eating seasonally. I feel that's healthier. But in addition to that, I can feel good that it's kind of like, I don't know, I used to, maybe it's just me, be really excited about Easter time because I love Cadbury mini eggs, right? And so every year I'd be super excited for Valentine's Day to be over, because as soon as Valentine's Day would be over, Easter would be here, or they'd be putting Easter stuff in the stores, and I could get Cadbury mini eggs, right? So I've kind of changed my thinking so that corn is my new Cadbury mini eggs. Like, I love corn time. I can't wait for corn time to come. And it's just that one little period of time that it's here, and then it's gone. And yes, you have frozen corn and canned corn, but it's not the same. You know, the fresh corn is the best. So kind of things like that. We just try to be thankful for the opportunities that we have to eat things in abundance, and just try to remember that it's what's best for us, and just appreciate what's on our plate. So thankfulness is important. And like I said, fun. You know, we try to make everything that we can a game. In everything in my life, I try to make it as much fun as possible, right? So when it comes to my grocery budget, I try to make that fun too. I'm often giving myself challenges. Like, I will take the budget down to $45, you know? I'll see how many things I can get for $5. Like, I'll just do within my $50 grocery budget for 2 weeks. I try to just take $5 of it and see how many items I can get and compete with myself. So I try to give myself little challenges to make it fun and make it exciting. And I try to, you know, like, post my results and things if I get it, and just hope that it'll encourage other people. And that's another thing that you can do to make it fun, is get other people involved. You know, that makes it fun when you have friends. So on the note of challenges, you definitely want to challenge yourself to try new things. So you're going to get bored eating the same groceries all the time if you're not willing to try new things. So what I like to do is two things, actually. First, I like to, if I find something that's a really good deal and I'm not familiar with it, like let's just say bok choy, for instance. I don't make a ton of things with bok choy. But if I find a really good deal, if it's marked down, I might pick up some bok choy and challenge myself to find a recipe for bok choy and serve it to my family. Find something that's really super delicious and healthy, and that's gonna, you know, be something good that maybe it'll be on our permanent menu, right? But sometimes I kind of have the same old thing, like chicken. Everybody has chicken over and over again. You kind of get bored with having your same chicken dishes all the time. So what I like to do with that is I like to go on Pinterest and just search chicken dishes. So recently I had gotten a really good deal on some organic chicken legs, and I don't have chicken legs too often. And I went on Pinterest and I just searched chicken leg recipes. And I found a really great one that I shared on the Frugal Family Food page. And I also shared what the dish looked like when it was done. And that was a really, really tasty meal. Now, some of them aren't all winners, I gotta tell you the truth. But we eat them. I try to choose ones that I know that the ingredients in it are things that we all know and love and appreciate. But I also try to do a little different. That chicken leg recipe was supposed to be an African recipe. And we just don't eat a lot of African food, but I thought it looked interesting and I knew the ingredients were things that we liked. So I went with it. Now sometimes when you do that, they're not all winners. But that's okay. You know, it's fun. It's kind of like a mystery game. I see on YouTube a lot, because you know my kids watch it. They have these challenges where people just eat these random crazy things. I kind of treat it like a challenge with my kids, you know. I try to just treat it like a game that we're gonna play and we're gonna taste it and be like, is it gonna be good? Yay! is it bad? Oh well, we're gonna eat it anyway. You know, there have been times that it just like any other time, like if you make a regular dinner, you can burn something. I mean, there's times that we've had to just say, yeah, we're not gonna eat this, and have a fallback meal. But because anything can happen, you could burn it, anything can happen, right? You always want to have a fallback meal. So that's not too much of a strain on our budget. I think I always have a backup meal prepared. The last thing I would say is don't always feel that you have to stay in your same budgeting comfort zone. So like if your budgeting technique is crock pot meals, if you are having crock pot meals like every day, that could get really old. I mean, you could do it if you had to do it, but it doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what I mean? If you find that the crock pot meals are getting old, search for another budget technique that you can use in addition to the crock pot meals, okay? Just stretch out of your budget comfort zone, stretch out a little bit, and that might help you to beat that budget burnout, because it'll still keep you on budget, just kind of do it in a different way and you won't feel so bored, right? Because we don't want to be bored. We want to have fun, we want it to be exciting, we want our food to be tasty, and we want our family to appreciate it. So those are my tips for helping you to avoid grocery budget burnout. Tell me what you think of those tips in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video if you think it was going to be helpful to you to beat your grocery budget burnout. And make sure you like and subscribe. I really, really appreciate that. We'll have more budgeting videos, especially as it relates to groceries here in the future. So thanks so much for tuning in to us at The Fundamental Home, and I will see you guys tomorrow.